What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzly homer, Memphis X, and I talk hoops. In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly what the Denver Nuggets need to do this season to become real contenders. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
Piano.
Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Demo respect, let's go.
So, as you remember yesterday, I used the article from 82games.com that you see right here to show why the Memphis Grizzlies were a real contender this season and for the next few seasons. But today, I'm going to use that same article to show you why the Denver Nuggets are not a real contender, despite the greatness of Jokic. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people in the NBA media start to chirp about the Denver Nuggets could possibly be their favorite to win the NBA championship this year. And I have to give pause, not because the team is not going to be good. The Denver Nuggets could very well have the best record in the NBA this year. But just like the Phoenix Suns last year, they are going to find out that they have a problem. And that problem is detailed and outlined in that article that is 17 years old and still going hard. Now, what could that problem be? We're going to get to that. Now, the first thing I did last night in trying to find out, my goal was to find out who are the real contenders for this season. And I found two glaring admissions. One was the Denver Nuggets, and the next one was, surprisingly enough, the Miami Heat. And they're for different reasons altogether. But today we are going to talk about the Nuggets. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Heat. So the reason why the Denver Nuggets are struggling or will struggle becoming a contender this year is because they do not have an elite defender on their roster. And it's a problem. And the reason why it's a problem, because if you remember from the article in the 82games.com, 82 games, there was a step 3 on building a championship team. Make sure one of your players, either the superstar or sidekick, can defend. No team has won an NBA title without a top 10 caliber defender. And that means a defensive player who has made the all-defensive first or second team in one of the 4 previous seasons in the NBA. And guess what? The Denver Nuggets do not have that defensive player. They do not have anybody that can fill that role at this time. So, no matter how good the Joker is, no matter how great Jamal Murray's recovery is, no matter how great Michael Porter Jr.'s health is this season, and no matter how great the new additions to the roster fit in, the Denver Nuggets are still going to lack that elite level defender. Now, I'm not saying that the Denver Nuggets are going to be a bad team. Like I said, they could easily have the best record in the NBA. And I know people are going to point to the acquisition of Bruce Brown as, well, he can be that defensive stopper they needed. We do not disobey the principles of the article. It's a blueprint. And it is the one principle that is held fast for every NBA championship team since they've been announcing the all defensive teams. You have to have at least one elite defender on your team. And that's just the way it is. There's no getting around this principle. And in reality, it makes sense because the deeper you get in the playoffs, the more likely you're going to find somebody that you have to put an elite defender on, or you have to have an elite defender to control the paint and rim protect. One of the two is going to have to happen. So you have to have at least one of those things locked down to be successful in the NBA playoffs, especially as you get advanced into rounds. And that is the issue with the Denver Nuggets. Bruce Brown is a good defender. Aaron Gordon is a good defender. But none of them approach the top 10 defender label. And that's going to be a problem. So, what can Denver do about it? Well, as you can see, it's a very concrete solution. And you're going to see why these top 10 defenders are so valuable. Now, let's look at the last 4 seasons of the all defensive team. In 2018-19, 2019-20, 2020-21, and 2021-22. Now, of all the players on this team, most of them are unattainable for a, modest price. The only player that moved hands on this list was Patrick Beverley, and the Lakers acquired him. But, the Lakers already had an elite defender in Anthony Davis, so they were not hurting in that area, but they added another one, and that always helps. As you can see, Patrick Beverley was second team all defense 2019-20 season with the Los Angeles Clippers, so he's moving forward. Now, there are 2 players that should be one should be readily available and one should be attainable that the Nuggets could make a move for, and both of these players should be a fit on this team. And the first player is Eric Bledsoe, who I believe is still unrestricted free agent. And the second player is Matisse Thybulle of the Philadelphia 76ers, who I think has kind of fallen out of favor with Doc Rivers and should be attainable for maybe draft picks, future draft picks, something like that. And it is essential that the Denver Nuggets and their new GM make a move for one of these 2 guys, because you can look on the list and none of these guys are attainable, and almost all of these guys that are in the last 4 seasons of being on the first or second team all defense are on elite teams. Even Matisse Thybulle is on a team that's trying to win a championship. The only one that's easily attainable is Eric Bledsoe. And Eric Bledsoe might seem like, but Eric Bledsoe was a first team all defensive player in 2018, 2019, and a second team all defensive player in 2019-20. Now, of course, his offense is falling off, but on the team like the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., KCP, and the Joker, they might be able to overcome his lack of shooting. So, what I'm saying here on this video is, no matter how much you love the Joker, and believe me, I love watching him play like no other, no matter how much you believe in the recovery of Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets have a defensive problem, and they need to solve that defensive problem by acquiring an elite defensive player. Let me know what you think about that concept. Do you think the Denver Nuggets can actually overcome the entirety of modern NBA history and win an NBA title without an elite defender on the roster? Or do you think it behooves them to make a move for that elite defender this season and get them on the roster before playoff time? Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with other NBA fans. And like I said, will be back with you tomorrow to show you what the Miami Heat's #1 problem is in winning a championship. Peace.